sergeants above me, right? And they didn't like the fact that I was reading.
Really?
I'm telling you, I almost got in trouble for reading.
No way.
Can you believe it? Oh,
sounds like
Sergeant
slavery.
Delevante, why are you walking around with a book? Is it military related? I'm telling you the that I went through.
Is it military related?
Is it military related? Is it related to the job that you're doing now? I said, listen, y'all are going to have to pack me up and send me back to the US because where I go, this book goes. Like my mind started to change.
That's crazy.
Bruh, I'm telling you, this one night, it was cold too. We were in Texas. We were about to mow and I was reading. Oh, Sergeant Delevante, you should go put the book down because we got to be up at 0400 for PT. Who are you talking to? Like, who do you really think? And that person was E7. I was an E5 at the time. So they're 2 ranks above me. But I got so much into entrepreneurship, I didn't care. Write me up. Kick me off the deployment. That was my mindset. I did not care. I wanted this so for reading, Dave. You would not see me without a book on my deployment. For 365 days, I had a book on me every single day.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find dope people that did dope stuff. We are talking about consumer law. So before we start, okay, there's some people online that when you get too much into the play, or I don't know how I feel about it. So we can get on where we're talking about certain loopholes. Would you call stuff?
I wouldn't
loopholes?
necessarily call them loopholes. It's laws that's there that a lot of people just don't know that's there. So it's not really a loophole if it's there for you to use it. People just don't know the things they don't know.
But sometimes if you use the law that's there inappropriately or uneducated, you can go to jail.
Very good.
Okay, good. All right, I just want to set that. Let's just make sure we are.
Very good point.
Yeah. So, well, introduce yourself, okay? Because then we're going to get into it. Because I want to know how I can improve my credit.
Let's get it.
Improve my, because I don't all the way understand exactly how credit works. I know people go into this percentage and the 35 and the 30, but it seems like it's a little more to that.
Absolutely. So there's a difference between.
Introduce yourself first. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what's going on, guys? So my name is Daraine Delevante. I teach people how to repair, rebuild, restore their own credit using consumer laws. And I also teach credit repair business owners how to potentially make an extra $50,000 to $100,000 per year in their credit repair business.
Got it. Okay. And you do that now?
Yes, I do.
So where does the money come from?
Which part of it?
For you, how do you make money?
Oh, so I have a university,
okay,
and I also have digital products.
Okay.
So consumers, credit repair business owners, they shop on my website. So they'll buy my templates, my letters, take my courses, join my university for strategies that they use in their businesses to get anything deleted. Like, for an example, I just did a 5-day challenge last week, and on that challenge, we got over 300 negative accounts deleted. One guy got 107 accounts deleted in 2 days.
107
Correct.
accounts?
Off his credit.
So 107
negative.
Why
items.
would he have 107 accounts? Period.
Dave, I've seen a credit profile, a report, 80 pages long. It's a lot of accounts.
I've just mad stuff on your account.
A lot of stuff.
How do you get to that?
So people apply for different stuff all the time. Some people are victims of identity theft. And when you're a co-signer on accounts, they just keep adding up. Student loans, if you move a lot, different addresses, employers, there's a lot of stuff on the consumer report that a lot of people don't know that's hurting them. And it keeps them locked in a way that they get denials from a lot of creditors. Simple things like there's 15 variations of your name. A creditor sees that, you're going to get denied. I don't know if you're just out here in these streets using different names to apply for credit, so people get denied.
Hold on. 15 variations of your name. Right. What do you mean?
Daraine Delevante. Yeah. Daraine Q Delevante. Q Delevante Daraine. Variations of your name and also other people's name that's on your accounts. I see this all the time. So when lenders see this, like if I see David Shan's David, or David D. Shan, I'm like, well, is he using different names to apply for different accounts? No, I'm not going to approve.
I got you. So one creditor might have me down as David Shan.
Correct.
But another creditor, they might list me, same name, but they happen to list last names first, where it says Shan's, comma, David.
Correct.
So for a lender, they see that as a red flag.
Red flag.
Even though you didn't do anything
Correct.
wrong. I got you.
Or
some people might use the middle initial, some people use the whole middle name. I got you.
Or identity theft. If they're a victim of it, other names show up on their profiles. Or if they have similar names to other people, they can have combined profiles. It's a lot of stuff. And people get denied all the time and don't know the reason why.
So like a father, son, maybe there's a junior type situation.
Correct. Yeah, it's little nuances like that that has the biggest impact, but a lot of people don't know.
So the moral of the story is don't name your child a junior or they have a risk for credit inefficiencies. Is that right?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Just be aware. I'd say be aware of what's on there. Pull it 3 times a month, because a consumer...
Pull the credit 3 times a month?
When you pull your own reports, it doesn't get a hard pull. So there's a thing called a hard pull if a lender or an institution or a firm pulls it. Yeah. But there's a thing called a soft pull. When I, Daraine, pull my own report, you don't get dinged for it. It's a soft pull.
You don't get dinged at all, or it's a soft pull?
Nope, not at all. It's called a soft pull. You're pulling your own reports. It doesn't affect you.
It doesn't affect you at all?
Nope.
I thought it did.
Nope, it don't.
Are you sure?
I am the credit hero. I am
true.
positive.
Yeah, okay, yes. Not what I do. That's just what I heard.
No, that's a lie. When lenders and institutions pull it, yes. But when you pull your own reports, no.
Okay, so I was gonna apply for something one time, and they said, "Well, it's not a hard pull; it's a soft pull."
Mm-hmm.
It's still gonna show up.
It's gonna show up, but it doesn't affect. Okay, so there's something we need to.
But I'm saying it was another company. They said, "Oh well, it's not a hard pull." It's a soft
so
pull.
I'm gonna break that down.
Okay.
So lenders can do soft pulls or they can do hard pulls.
Okay.
Soft pull is just to see what's going on the report. It doesn't affect you. But when they do a hard pull now, get in the whole profile itself, then know that inquiry gets on the report. Okay. But what we need to comprehend first is that there's a difference between the factors of FICO and your consumer report. They are not the same things, and we believe that they are. So we think that payment history, utilization, length of credit history, mixture of credit, and new credit affects the consumer report when it doesn't. The consumer report is independent of the factors of FICO. Your consumer report does not need a FICO. Your FICO score cannot exist without your consumer report.
Okay, explain the difference.
Okay, so you know what? Let me go to the law and let me read the definition, because that will clear up a lot of things. So for everybody that's listening right now, you're going to go to 15 USC 1681.
15 USC
1681.
What is that?
The Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Okay.
It's the law that governs what gets reported or how it gets reported on the consumer report. Okay. So when you go there, you're going to go to 15 USC 1681A under definitions, rules of construct. So when you're there, you're going to scroll down to number 2, right? And we're going to go to the definition of what your consumer report is. Okay. So when we go there, Congress is going to say, in general, the term consumer report means any written, oral, or other communication of any information by a consumer reporting agency bearing on a consumer's credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, general reputation, personal characteristics, or mode of living, which is used or expected to be used, collected in whole or in part for the purpose of serving as a factor in establishing a consumer's eligibility for A, credit or insurance to be used primarily for personal, family, or household purposes, B, employment purposes, or C, any other purpose authorized under 1681.
Help me out, because you're speaking King James Version.
I'm breaking it down right now.
I mean, at any point, like the King James Version. I just don't.
At any point, did you hear in the definition FICO scores or Vantage scores?
No.
Okay, this is the definition of what your consumer report is.
Okay.
A FICO score and the factors of FICO, or a Vantage score and the factors of a Vantage score, does not affect your consumer report. Okay. They are separate things.
So when I'll go to get a car, are they pulling my FICO or are they pulling my consumer report?
They're pulling your FICO, but your FICO is a result of the information that is used from your consumer report. FICO is an algorithm.
I see. Okay, so FICO is just an algorithm.
Correct.
It's quantifying what's on the consumer report. Why is this important to me?
Because when you know what's a factor on your consumer report and what belongs there, you control the narrative. For example, what if I told you that late payments are illegal and shouldn't even be on anybody's consumer report?
Late payments are illegal.
Illegal, not legal, illegal. Not supposed to be there.
And they're not supposed to be there.
Utilizations too.
See here, okay, you know what it reminds me of? And I'll let you explain it. But where somebody says, well, legally, every person is owed $20 million because of their social security number or something like that.
Well, I don't know about that part, but I can.
You've heard that though before, right?
I have, but I can prove everything I say right now. I can prove.
I love that.
So before the end of this interview, I'm going to prove a few things. Okay. And if I don't, I'll sell you $1,000. So I'm going to prove that a FICO or a Vantage is not a part of the consumer report. I just did that. I'm going to prove a late payment does not exist on your consumer report. I'm going to prove that utilizations does not exist on your consumer report. So I'm going to prove 4 things.
Well, let me ask this question. Let's say I have a credit card and I pay it late and they report it late. That goes on my FICO score. Well, that affects my FICO score.
That's a factor of FICO. That's not a factor of your consumer report.
Right, but it affects my FICO score.
It does affect your FICO if you let it.
Okay, let's go a little deeper. Right. Let's go a little deeper. Pause. All right, come on. We got some New Yorkers in the building, so I'm feeling obligated to say pause.
All right. So we go back to 15 USC 1681. Definitions, rules of construct. This is law. Daraine isn't making none of this stuff up. When you go down to exclusion, what does exclusion means?
I'm trying not to use the word in the definition, but apart from.
Does not
set
include.
aside.
It's not a part of, right? Okay, so this is what Congress says. Except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report, and we just read the definition, right? Does not include. So if Congress says the term consumer report does not include, doesn't it mean everything I'm about to say is not included?
Correct.
All right. So the law says report information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. What do you think the word person means?
The person charged. Person like a human.
Not necessarily. Corporation. So let me go into the definition.
Corporation, okay.
So the term person means any individual, partnership, cooperation, trust, estate, cooperative, association, government or governmental subdivision, or agency. Corporations are defined as person. Yep. But we think when the law says person, we're thinking about a natural person.
Yes.
That's not the case. That is why people get, how should I say? That's why sometimes they get taken advantage of because they don't comprehend the definition. Some things in the law speaks to the consumer. Some things don't. But when everybody thinks everything is about them, they wrap themselves up into believing like the FICO, they think the FICO is a part of the consumer report, and it's not. So let me get into the definition and prove to you why a late payment does not exist. So now that we know the definition of a consumer report, we know the definition of a person. This is very important to comprehending now how it works. So Congress says exclusions, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include reports containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. Isn't your payment history your transactions with the company?
Yes.
So if Congress says Your transactions are not included on your consumer report. Where does a late payment come from?
Here's my thing though. And I hear what that says, that actually makes sense, but it seems conflicting because it seems like the whole purpose of a credit score is to let other people know that you're going to do business with.
Credit score, Dave. Consumer report is different. When we separate them, we will see the difference.
Okay, maybe I don't understand the importance of the difference because it seems like, you know, in my head, and I excuse my ignorance, I think credit, consumer report, so that I can get a house or a car. And you're looking at my eligibility to get these things.
Correct. You're correct.
Okay.
You're absolutely correct. Okay. But there's another layer.
Explain why the difference is important.
Okay. So learning what a consumer report is key for you. I've built out an 800 3 times in 1 year.
So what do you mean?
So an 800 credit score by knowing this information. When you control what gets reported gives you the credit score. The credit score is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The information on the report generates the score. So if you control the information, you control the score. And when you know what is legally supposed to be there by law, you control whatever gets reported. That is why there is no such thing as a late payment. It only exists if the consumer let it exist.
Wow. Okay. I get it. How's your credit, Reese? He thought you answered like, huh? Yeah, he has earphones on, like he can hear everything better. All right, let me leave you alone, Reese. All right, cool. So, 7:30. Oh, good. Okay, all right, 7:30.
It's not bad.
That's lit, right? It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not amazing.
Well, he's in the top 10%. A lot of people spend time in the 600s. So to get it over to 700 is a big jump for a lot of people, especially 730, 740. It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, sounds like Reese being fiscally responsible.
I'd rather hang out in the 800, but it's because I know how to do it. It's just for cloud. Like there's no real difference between a 780 and an 800. Like there's no, the number is the difference, but you still get the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So how do we control this narrative?
By learning definitions. So what I teach, and you asked earlier, what I teach in the university is how to use consumer laws to basically delete anything from your report. So I told you the example of charge-offs. I think we got 30 charge-offs deleted last week. We got one guy got 107 accounts deleted. We got bankruptcy.
And we said 107 accounts. This is inquiry, old names, paid off stuff.
Student loans.
Names. Okay.
We got about 60 student loans deleted last week from the consumer report. It's one of the easiest things to get rid of. But people...
Hold on. 60 student loan...
60 accounts.
Hold on. So, hear me out, okay? I have a student loan, and I might owe like 30-something thousand. Are you saying all the duplicates and stuff you got taken off, or you got that 30,000, the money?
Very good question. So let me explain this. So not because an account gets deleted from your consumer report, it doesn't mean that you have the obligation or the alleged obligation. There is no law that says anything have to get reported on your consumer report. And right now, if I evaluate your situation with a student loan, I can tell that you probably didn't get 3 disclosures that you're supposed to get, and not getting those disclosures, you can now use that to opt out of having those student loans reported, deleting them completely from your consumer report.
So I still owe the money. It's just
you still owe it, but
now you're talking about just controlling what gets reported.
Control the narrative.
Man. I like that.
It's lit.
So what's the point? Okay, so let's say, for instance, I owe some money to student loan. I owe it. And I'm not paying it, and there's a bunch of latenesses. You can use the law to have it not report on your consumer report.
100%.
Because no transaction between me and a company has to be reported.
Correct.
So you get it taken off.
There's no law.
But I still owe the money.
Correct.
What is their ramification? I use that word right? What does ramification mean? It sounds like it fits there. What is the ramification? Yes, it is.
I think you could. I think it's situational.
What is the ramification of me not paying? Because it seems like the only reason I pay my bill is because I don't want to get it
correct. And that's the leverage. They use the ignorance of fear. Like they use fear, false evidence appearing real. They use fear of, oh, we're going to put it on the report. And it strong arms a lot of people into doing things that they don't want to do. No, I'm not here saying that if you go out and get some stuff, you shouldn't pay for what you got. But what I'm saying is when it comes to your consumer report and when you comprehend how it works and the definitions, you, the consumer, controls what gets reported. It is not the other way around. Gotcha. We got indoctrinated to think that a financial institution can report anything. And I can prove what I'm saying right now. So let me hear y'all say prove it. And I'll prove that a financial institution has no legal right without disclosing certain things to the consumer to have anything reported. And if the consumer says, no, I don't want it reported, they have to obey by it.
All right, listen, every single week, every episode, you hear me talking about themorningmeetup.com. It's the community. Let me show you what's happening here. Every single morning, Monday through Friday, there's 400 plus people on a Zoom call, right? We're learning, we're talking, we're growing together, and this is you. There's all these people here. It's all these people in the morning meetup. Hundreds of people reading books, growing. We get together quarterly. It's amazing. And for some reason, you just keep looking at, just go to themorningmeetup.com and get in the circle. And then you'll be like way happier. Just themorningmeetup.com. Let's get back to the episode. Oh, so we're banking on a misstep, pretty much.
Correct.
So if a company gives me these 3 disclosures and I sign them that says, if you don't pay, I will reflect this on your credit report, right? If I sign that, then there's nothing you can do about that.
That's not necessarily all the way true. The other part is Congress also gives you, the consumer, the right to opt out of having your information reported.
But even after you sign the...
Say prove it.
Prove it.
I'm glad you asked, Dave.
Shouts out to you running this interview. This is good.
So 15 USC 6802. What I'm giving y'all is I only tell people this in my university. This is how I get mortgages deleted, auto loans deleted, and student loans deleted.
Mortgages deleted? It just sounds...
All right. Remember, Dave, when you delete it from the consumer report...
Okay, so what you're saying is not deleted in terms of my obligation to pay.
Exactly.
We're just deleted into the report.
We're taking it off the report.
This makes sense. This makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense.
My team, if you're watching this, do not be upset with me.
So we're not saying that we don't owe the money.
We're not. We're not saying that. I will never tell anyone to lie. What we're using is straight laws to get any account deleted. Straight laws. My team's gonna be upset, Dave. I like it.
So I was just talking to my boy, and remember yesterday's conversation, we're using any names, where you were saying that there was a person and a company that split ways, but the person, they agreed that they wouldn't talk bad about the person why they split ways, right? And now one of the people are going to sue this other person because the one ex-employer told another potential employer that it was a bad situation. So what's happening here in relation to what you're saying is, like, we have a contract that says you can't say this about me. You can't report this to anyone else, right? And this is like the same with the consumer law. The company can't just put it on there without my My
written permission.
Written permission.
It's called permissible purpose. 15 USC 1681B2.
You study this stuff.
Oh, I live this every day.
Golly.
So my team, do not be upset. I'm going to share some top secret information. All right. So the first thing, to your point, Dave, I want to let you comprehend privacy and the obligations institutions have to consumers. See, we think that these institutions don't have an obligation to the consumer, but they have a big responsibility and an ongoing obligation to protect the consumer's personal, non-public information. But people don't know this.
I like it.
So
I like it.
We're going to start with 15 USC 6801, right? And when you go there, the title is Protection of Non-Public Personal Information. Now, why would Congress say that? Protection of non-public personal information.
Non-public personal information.
Correct.
Okay.
It is the policy of the Congress that each financial institution has an affirmative and continuing obligation to respect the privacy of its customers and to protect the security and confidentiality of those customers' non-public personal information. Now, isn't that an oxymoron? Because we believe all these companies should report or can report whatever they want. And the law here specifically says they need to have policies in place and they have an ongoing obligation to protect your private information.
Shouts out to the government. I like
okay, but let me show you now how we get these accounts deleted. So when we go to 15 USC 6802, it's going to bring us to obligations with respect to disclosures of personal information. Well, what do you know?
I need to see the obligations with respect.
Correct.
Okay.
So before, they just told us that they have an ongoing obligation to protect the information, right?
Yes.
And now Congress is saying obligations with respect to disclosures of personal information. So now if they are going to give out the information, well, the consumer must be told about this. So here's what Congress says. 15 USC 6802A, right? Notice requirements, except as otherwise provided in this subchapter, a financial institution may not directly or through any affiliate disclose to a non-affiliated third party any non-public personal information unless such financial institution provides or has provided to the consumer a notice that complies with section 6803. So let me break this down. No financial institution, no bank, no firm, no car dealership, none of them, right? No student loan company, none of them are supposed to disclose any of your information with a non-affiliated third party. So let me explain what an affiliated party is and what a non-affiliated third party is. So SunTrust and Lightstream and Truist Bank, they are affiliated by common interest ownership, right? They can share the information all day.
Gotcha. So they're all one company?
Correct.
Okay.
Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, LexisNexis, SageStream, ARS, consumer reporting agencies. These are non-affiliated because Truist or SunTrust or Lightstream doesn't own any of the consumer reporting agencies.
Gotcha.
They are non-affiliated. So if they're going to share your non-public personal information now with a non-affiliated party, the consumer must be told about this, right? So what Congress says now is opt out. Well, it sounds to me like Congress says, well, Daraine, you can opt out if you want.
Which means you can automatically be opted in.
Correct.
Got it.
But if you don't opt out, you stay opt in. So they continue to report it. Because we don't exercise our right, Dave, that's why there's accounts on the consumer reports.
So I thought the whole strategy, I'm not going to lie to you, in the credit repair credit repair world, I thought the whole play was sending mad letters.
Well, that's a part of it. But you have to know what to send. The reason why 95% of credit repair business owners and consumers that are doing it themselves, and there's nothing wrong with doing it yourself, they don't know how to speak the language that Congress put in place to keep these corporations in check. They're sending out information saying, oh, this wasn't me, this belonged to my dad. Like, they're not using their language.
Give me an example of some language.
Perfect. So
I do feel like you're controlling this conversation. Though. This is really good, though.
A financial institution may not disclose non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party unless, this is one part of the language, such financial institution clearly and conspicuously discloses to the consumer in writing or in electronic form or other form permitted by the regulation prescribed under Section 6804 of this title that such information may be disclosed to such third
King
party.
James Version, bro.
When you got your student loans, did they tell you that, hey, Dave, we might report this to the consumer reporting agencies?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
All right.
I went to I agree.
You're supposed to get this in bold letters. It's not supposed to be hidden. It's a disclosure. They're supposed to tell you this. All right, let me ask you something else. The consumer is given the opportunity before the time that such information is initially disclosed to direct that such information not be disclosed to such third party. Did they say, Dave, we're going to report your information, but if you decide not to have us report it, let us know?
They didn't say that.
They didn't say that. Here's the third part. The consumer is given an explanation of how the consumer can exercise that non-disclosure option. Did they say, Dave, if you decide not to, here is how, or here's what you do so we don't report this information? That's the whole point. Nobody ever gets all three. It's not one, you're supposed to get three. And if you don't get these mortgages, student loans, auto loans, doesn't matter what it is. If you do not get these disclosures, you can opt out because them not giving you these disclosures is a direct violation of the law. And this is how we got like 45 student loans deleted last week.
Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year positive, you're going to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch your podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode. Sally Mae, listen to me. It's over, okay? This whole relationship is over. You bamboozled me. You didn't tell me. I was a young kid. Play some music in the back. I was a kid. First off, how you learn all this stuff?
Well,
where are you from?
I'm Jamaican. And
you from Jamaica?
Yes, I am. I moved here in 2010. I was going to med school and I decided that I'm just leaving Jamaica and I'm coming to the US.
You were going to med school?
Correct. University of West Indies. Correct.
Oh, so you were in Jamaica for how long?
I lived there my entire life. Until I was 20.
Because you know there's a lot of Jamaicans,
I'm only
but
32,
they're not from Jamaica. You know what I mean? They're just...
I'm a real island boy. Real island boy.
What's those 2 kids? Island boy. Oh, that's crazy.
I'm a real island boy.
So what was life like in Jamaica?
So you guys are blessed here. So let me make sure y'all know this. Guys are blessed here. There is no credit in Jamaica. It's either you got your money or you don't. This building wealth off of credit doesn't really exist outside the United States.
Really?
Oh, best believe it. You guys here have...
Hold on.
How blessed y'all are, man. Y'all don't know.
Hold on. You said building wealth off of credit, because that's what, a lot of people do. They leverage. You said that doesn't exist in other countries?
Nope.
Predominantly America?
America is probably the #1 country in the world you can Be born with nothing, leverage credit, and become a millionaire like in a month. I'm telling you, it doesn't exist.
Is that why we're in such a bad financial? That sounds like a bad model.
Well,
our whole country is built off of credit?
Well, full faith and credit of the American people. America is a corporation. It's not a country. It is a federal corporation.
I mean, it's still a country. But.
Well, if you think it is, it's a business that's run off of credit.
Hey.
So when I got here, I was telling, like, they told me no for everything. Couldn't get a car, couldn't get a house, no apartment, nothing. And I'm like, I have the money. We don't need money. You don't have any credit. What is credit? What do you mean, what is credit? We don't have this credit stuff in Jamaica. So I was being told no everywhere. And then I'm like, I'm a man. Like, can't even get a cell phone. I had to go, you know those corner stores, those electronic stores? I had to go to one, save up $400 and go buy an unlocked phone. Because I couldn't get approved for a regular phone. I had no credit. Nothing.
But Jamaica, if I go over there like, y'all want that house, I have the cash. Here, take it. Take the money.
Yeah, you buy your stuff with cash over there. Over here, it's different.
There's no credit cards in Jamaica?
They're credit cards, but the credit system isn't like the one here.
Oh, so the success of you obtaining things isn't predicated on your credit score. Got it.
There is no, I have no money, but I have excellent credit. Come give me a few $100,000. No.
Hey.
No.
So all those businesses, well, maybe not all, but a lot of businesses in Jamaica were started just from the ground. Like, I got a couple dollars, I'm going to put this in here, grow it.
Sweat, blood, and tears, ground up.
Okay, so you come here, how old were you?
20. That was in 2010.
Gotcha. You were 20. Mm-hmm. You get over here. Why'd you come?
Land of opportunity. Why would I not come?
Yeah. So I'm saying, what were some of the driving factors of, were you always thinking, man, I got to get to America?
In the beginning, no. But then I got approved for a school work and travel program. And the first place I went to was New Hampshire. Quite the opposite of Jamaica.
Oh, for sure.
Quite the, boy. Quite the opposite. It was, I've never experienced that type of cold in my life. My bones were cold.
Right. More all white people too, right?
Bruh. I was one of 5 black people in the entire area.
How's that culture side? Did that paint a picture of what America was?
At first, yes. Until I moved to New York, then I knew it was different.
Got it.
Because when I came in 2009, that was the first time I came on the work and travel visa, went back to school, and then I'm like, I'm not going back the next time I come. I'm not. So when I left the second time, I did the tour, did the time. I worked at a Dairy Queen too. My first job, making $7.50 an hour.
Sound about right.
It was amazing.
At 20 years old. Yeah, it was amazing,
bruh.
He was like Prince Hakeem. Man, he was just excited.
The first check, like, remember, $1 US is 148 Jamaican dollars. So in my mind, $200 wasn't $200. Yeah. I was doing the calculations. I'm like, I'm making money. Because I wasn't thinking in US currency. I just came. I'm thinking Jamaican currency. So 200 multiplied by 145 or 148, whatever the rate was at that time, that's what my mind was thinking. Yeah. So I was rich. At $7.50 an hour, I was rich compared to where I'm coming from.
Yo, this really explains like the joy foreigners have just at like regular menial jobs. It's just, man, I'm happy to be here.
100%. Wow. But it's amazing how working $7.50 an hour a little over 12 years ago is so different when right now in an hour, I do like probably a good 45 or 50,000, depending on the type of campaign I'm running. It's quite a difference.
So you're working at Dairy Queen at 20. Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
I said, I'm not going back.
Right.
So I called my godfather. I said, hey, Milton, I'm in the US. I am not going back to Jamaica. My mom is freaking out.
Really?
Bruh. She's like, why? I was going to go to med school. Yeah. Like she was banking on me going to med school.
In Jamaica?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So she was like, what do you mean you're not coming back? I'm like, Mom, it doesn't matter what you say right now. It doesn't change the fact that I am not coming back.
I wish I was that bold. It was, because I went to college because my mom told me I had to go to college. And I was like, I don't want to go. She said, so? And it was like, we just there. But y'all was on the phone and I was in person, so we're a little different.
So stayed. So I got another job at Five Guys, right? Pause. And
y'all New Yorkers is something else, bro.
So I got a job at Five Guys. Pause. And I was the fry cook, right?
Right.
So I was shaking them baskets like got mad muscles too from Five Guys. So oh, pause.
Wow, chill out, bro.
So yeah, I got a pay raise. It was $8.75 an hour.
Ah, you're up.
Right? Bruh, I'm up. Right? So I did that for a year. Then I decided to join the military. Yeah. So I don't like the whole green card stuff. I don't like you have to go back to the embassy. Yeah. And I didn't like it. So I joined the military to get my citizenship. Joined the military. Within a year, got my citizenship. Right. I'm like, this military stuff is cool. This military stuff is nice. Yeah. So joined the military, ended up liking it because I'm in the military now 10 years, right? National Guard too, by the way, Army National Guard.
Are you still in?
Correct.
You're still in?
Yeah, I was at training last week. That's why I missed one of your conferences, the Black Equity Con, because I had training. I was so mad. Like that day, I was like, they're gonna either come find me. I was so close not to go training. Because when I want to do my stuff, it falls on the weekends where the big conferences are happening. So now I'm faced with a choice. I go AWOL to come to the conference, or I go and I miss out on a massive opportunity. It is a big issue for me right now. So
how's it? Are you gonna stay in the military?
No, I'm not. I'm telling them to let me out, bro. It's time to go.
When did you decide that you weren't going to be there anymore?
Well, I deployed in 2020. And that deployment, I made about 90,000, probably about 80,000, right? And then I decided to be an entrepreneur. And what I made in a year, David, I made in a day. The math was wrong.
So 2020... You were still of this, y'all. I'm making money from the military. Absolutely. I'm good.
Listen, I was making $6,000 a month. It was lit, right? Yeah. I'm not making $8 an hour anymore. Yeah. I'm making $6,000 a month. I deployed. I read 140 books on my deployment. I was averaging 6 books a month on my deployment.
Wow.
I had to work on this. I always wanted to do entrepreneur or be an entrepreneur or do entrepreneurship work. But I didn't know how, so I started studying Robert Kiyosaki, Les Brown, Miles Monroe, Grant Cardone, a lot of these guys. And I'm like, yo, why didn't anybody tell me about all of this stuff? So I started consuming. I'm talking about books, David. Like I'm having like boxes of books shipped to Kuwait from the US. My first 800, I built it in Kuwait. I wasn't even in the country when I built up my first 800 credit score. So when I hear people with all the excuses of why they have bad credit and the stuff don't work, it doesn't faze me. I'm very sorry. I'm empathetic that you have it, but it's the excuses that we tell ourselves don't give us results. So I went and I read 140 books. I'm not telling nobody to go and do this, but there's a shift that had to happen here. For me to be here in this couch, if I didn't deploy, I would have not been in this couch. I had to change my mind, the way I think, and the things that I thought possible. Because I thought making $6,000 a month was lit until I made $97,000 in a day. I was like, bro,
that's crazy. Reading 6 books a month, you're just consuming this stuff.
Everything, and you know what's crazy? During the process, I had some superiors, as you would call them, sergeants above me, right? And they didn't like the fact that I was reading.
Really?
I'm telling you. I almost got in trouble for reading.
No way.
Can you believe it? Oh,
Sounds like
Sergeant
slavery.
Delevante, why are you walking around with a book? Is it military related? I'm telling you the that I went through.
Is it military related?
Is it military related? Is it related to the job that you're doing now? I said, listen, y'all are going to have to pack me up and send me back to the US because where I go, this book goes. Like my mind started to change.
That's crazy.
Bruh, I'm telling you, this one night, it was cold too. We were in Texas. We were about to mow and I was reading. Oh, Sergeant Delevante, you should go put the book down because we got to be up at 0400 for PT. Who are you talking to? Like, who do you really think? And I did, like, that person was E7. I was an E5 at the time. So they're 2 ranks above me. But I got so much into entrepreneurship, I didn't care. Write me up. Kick me off the deployment. That was my mindset. I did not care. I wanted this so for reading, Dave. You would not see me without a book on my deployment. For 365 days, I had a book on me every single day. So a lot of people want things, but they are not willing to do like Myron. He has a term, gravitraffic and phototraffic. Like you see the beautiful tree with all the fruits and everything, but you don't see the root or how far down the root goes. That's taking in all the minerals to support the growth of what you're looking at. Like I had to go through it. This isn't something that someone can pretend to go through.
Yeah.
So like they told me I couldn't read. I can't bring my books. I'm telling you the amount of stuff I went through. I did not care.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted and ain't nobody was going to stop me.
Goodness
they could put me in front of the general. That's how much I was committed to this. I was willing to give up every single thing for this life.
It makes sense now why you're so like well-versed in like all the laws because you've developed a habit of consuming information. You can,
correct.
I feel a little inferior actually. Because I don't read that much. We just got to reading like maybe 12, 15 books a year.
So I got a gem for you.
Talk to me.
So I just figured out how to read one book in a day.
How you do that? Like the dude from Instagram?
No.
He said, yo, what are you doing? He said, what did you read?
No, so I just finished reading 1 Million Offers by Alex Ramosi. The first thing Alex said in that book is, if you want to really get this book, listen to the audiobook and read it at the same time. Finish the book in 2 days. Lit. Like I could have finished it in 1 day if I was focused, but I had too many things going on. Like I am excited to read again. Like I fell off a little bit because I was doing 6 books a month. It's a lot doing 6 books a month. Now doing the audiobook and the book, it's game changer, Dave.
You love this stuff.
Oh, I do. In order to have the things others won't have, you must be willing to do the things others won't do. That's what separates greatness from mediocre.
Are you talking to me? Are you coming at me?
Why are you the podcast
Throwing
king?
shade, bro?
No, I'm getting to the fact that why are you the podcast king?
I do this a lot.
My point exactly. Some people, they're not about this life. They want it, but everybody's willing to come in the studio to sit down every day and perfect this craft. They're not about this life. And you can tell.
Okay, cool. I'm about to step my book game up though.
Gonna bring you to a whole nother game.
All right, so when did you, how'd you make that first big, like that big income where you was like, yo, entrepreneurship or nothing else?
Excellent question.
I ask excellent questions.
You do.
Thanks.
So, when was it? Last year.
Okay.
COVID is rampant everywhere, right? So I'm on orders. I'm back in the States now. I'm on full-time duty orders. I was still making $6,000 a month. You know, it was great. And I got called into the office. So Sergeant Delevante, we're going to cut your orders because the government overspent on COVID and we don't have enough money. This is exactly what I was told. That cushion job that I've had since 2014 is about to come to an end. No more $6,000 a month check. That was it. And you actually helped me do this. A lot of people don't know, but the success I've had is mainly because of you. So, and this podcast, correct. So that's why I have no issues if you say, yo, D, I want to if you're like, Daraine, show up to Atlanta and I want you to bring everything that you have, I have no issues with it.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm willing to do anything for you, pause, to an extent. Just because, no, I'm being real. Like, I give tribute where tribute.
Thank you, brother.
Like, if it wasn't for social proof, with all the other mentors I've had, I would never be where I'm at right now. So what actually happened was you brought on Myron, a common mentor of ours now, right? And I went on the Make More Offers Challenge. And I learned how to make more offers. Then this other Sunday, I was coming from training and you had Nehemiah on here. And Neil was talking about the ebook play. So what I learned from Neil with the ebook play and what I learned from Myron on Make More Offers, I did it. So September, that's 30 days in September. So September 30th came, no more job, no more military, no more nothing, right? So I decided to go all in on me. So what I did...
What you mean no more military? Because you're still
in active duty.
Oh,
so there's two components.
Right.
There's active and then reserve. Yeah. I was active reserve, meaning I was reserve, but I was on active duty orders. Now I'm just reserve. There's no bi-weekly checks from the military.
Oh, but every now and again you just got to go to the
training. To drill, correct, once a month and get that done. So when I was forced into entrepreneurship, I ran the play that Neil gave. He broke it down that Sunday, like I heard, and I've heard the play before, but I tell people all the time, like, when it's your message, it is your message. That Sunday driving from training, I watched the podcast twice and I heard I've never heard nothing so clear in my life. I ran the play, Dave, and I made $97,000.
Amazing.
And then I was like, this is more than what I was deployed a whole year making. And that's when I become mentally unemployable.
Okay, explain exactly what you did to make the $97,000. So, because they might not have seen the episode.
Got you. So a friend of mine, Marvin Francois, he if Marvin keeps up what he's doing, no shadow of a doubt, he'll be as good as you are. But he's in the credit space. So he's more around credit, his show. And for 3 months, I chased Marvin down. I'm like, yo, I need you to interview me. And he was like, nah, bro, like my channel isn't about that. I'm like, yo, I've seen the vision. And you know when you see something, but you really got to show people the vision. So I said, Marvin, just interview me. I'll take care of the rest. All you got to do is interview me. So for 3 months, I'm chasing this dude. And then I'm like, bruh. And then he's like, all right. I'm like, yo, I got this. All you got to do is show up. Just show up. I'll take care of everything. He showed up. We did the first interview. Right now, it's probably at 140,000 views.
Oh, wow.
I'm still getting paid off that interview to today. And that was done a year ago.
Gotcha.
That ebook play, to date, now I think we've done over $250,000 off of a $47 ebook. Lit.
But you got to explain exactly what you did because they didn't see the episode. They don't understand what the play is.
Okay, got you. So, and I got something special for you too. So what that is basically you give tremendous value. You want to impact people's life. You want to change people's life. So a lot of people try to do this stuff without no real value behind it. People need actual things that work. So I was able at the time I had a ebook. It was like $147, but I decided to give it to his audience for $47. And people use that to start repairing, rebuilding, and restoring their own credit. So people started getting results and they're like, yo, Daraine, the stuff is working. Oh my God, this bankruptcy that I had, it's finally got like you'd be surprised the stuff people are struggling with. So people got results from what I wrote in the ebook. And it was a no-brainer. So they got it for $47 and then they're like, yo, I have to tap in with you. So most of them now, they joined my program. They started cleaning their whole reports. They started making their own credit repair businesses. And then I started coaching them.
Gotcha.
Real people, real results. That actually started a business. But none of that wouldn't have been possible if I wasn't consuming social proof content.
Wow. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate really you.
I learned a lot about credit and consumer and the difference. So we can control the narrative. We can control our score.
100%.
So your particular business is not that you're fixing people's credit. No. You're teaching them how to fix their own credit.
I don't like to give people fishes. It's one of my things. If you give a man a fish, he eats for the day. But what happens when you teach a man how to fish?
Fish for a lifestyle.
100%. I do not believe. No, I heard the first person I heard with it was Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay, right. He used it. Yeah, that was a good position. But you never even fix people's.
I used to, bruh. The night I stopped when I mailed out 500 letters. Remember, when you do credit repair, there's 3 big consumer reporting agencies: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Every person has 3 letters that you're sending out.
Yeah.
So imagine having 500 clients. That's 1,500 letters. You're putting in an envelope and you're going to the post office to mail out. That night, it took me almost 5 hours. I said, nope, I will not do this again.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
So you can get some points off my, not point. Yeah, I want more points, but you can get some stuff taken off. And if we take some stuff off of my consumer report, it will reflect in the FICO score.
FICO score, correct. That's easy.
I don't even want to do it myself, honestly, though.
That's fine. I'll make an exception for you.
It's my God.
There's certain people you make exceptions for.
I appreciate
and you're
that.
one of them.
I appreciate it. Now, my score is better than Reese's, but it can always get better. No shade to Reese's little 730, but you know what I mean? Yeah, mind your business, bro. Actually might be around 750 something. Anyway, no, it's very helpful. Very helpful. Anything else you want to share? Is there more?
Yeah. Because you've stuck around and because what you've done for me, I have something for your audience.
What's up?
So I made what is called the Credit Hero Starter Pack. Price is a big thing to a lot of people, and it's not that they don't see the value. Some people they cannot put it together. So I made a course called the Credit Hero Starter Pack, and normally the retail on this is $550. For your audience, I'm going to give it to them for $99. It has 3 ebooks and a mini course. So this is information that they can use right now to take actionable steps, and most of them will get results within 24 to 48 hours of using the information. The key thing I want everybody to know is not everybody gets the same results. And this is what people got to learn. You got to learn this about credit. Not because Dave got his student loans deleted in 24 hours, it means you're going to get the same. Persistence is key because they will test you. They will test you to see if you know what you're talking about, or if you just got some template off the internet. They will test you. But the law is the law, and company policies does not trump federal law. So all they got to do is text the word social proof to 917.
One word or 2 words?
I'm going to have both keywords programmed. So as long as they text the word social proof to 917-810-3329, they'll be able to get it. And I'll make sure that you have the link in your description so you can have it available for them. And whether they get it or not, it really doesn't bother me at all. Because what I want to do is change lives, and I want to change our narrative where credit is concerned, because all the things we thought, forget everything you ever thought you knew about credit. The things people think they know about credit is not true. The real truth about credit is consumer law. It is a big difference. Factors of FICO or factors of Vantage has nothing to do with your consumer report. So right now, I'm letting everybody know, everything you thought you knew about credit was a lie. Forget all of it. This episode will reveal to you the real truth about credit. Consumer law is the GOAT.
I love it.
It's the GOAT.
Man, I appreciate you, my brother. You got a question? We've got a question. Is that mic on? All right, go ahead.
So,
All right. He got it. Don't worry. Everybody take. All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna do a quick commercial. I gotta pay some bills. Okay. We give all this information out for free. I gotta pay some bills. Okay.
Absolutely.
This episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup. TheMorningMeetup.com, the only organization that gathers every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship. You know what I did though this week? I have a course, a podcast course, right? And we sell it. It's $19.97 because I'm teaching people how to start, grow, and scale their podcast, how to make money from a podcast, how to be a good podcaster, all the equipment, all that kind of stuff. And it's $2,000. But I said, you know what? My number one focus is not to make as much money as I can. My number one focus is to build our community as big as that can grow. Mm-hmm. So I said to myself, David, you know what I'm going to do? This $2,000 course, I'm just going to put it into the portal for the Morning Meetup members where they can consume it for free. But guess how much it is to join the Morning Meetup so that they can have this thing for free? It's only $79 a month. So literally, someone can join today for $79. Mm-hmm. They get the whole podcast course. They have, there's a content creation course in there, and they'll talk to me every single morning. I'm on a call every single morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single morning. Yes. So we got to get it to 10,000. Our goal is to make this a no-brainer because I want this community to we'll be strong together. We go from 10,000 to 100,000 to 1 million members. Political policies can be influenced by what we decide to do as a community.
Correct.
That's what I want to grow to.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So
you're pretty dope.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So let's go to themorningmeetup.com, themorningmeetup.com, and enroll, man. Just check us out. Yeah, there's no obligation. The worst thing that happens is you invest $79. You don't like the course. You don't like the podcast course. You don't like the content creation course. You don't like any of the stuff that I'm talking about every single morning, Monday through Friday, and you cancel and you're out of $79. But that never happens. So, yes. Okay, so you got, hold on, I don't even know. The mic is broke. Well, can you ask them after? Because we are on a little, time thing. So, all right. So, man, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, man. And then you got to close out with a word of wisdom. But I do want to say thank you because I had the wrong idea about what credit is. But you are very not. You know what? Why I'm so excited. Because you're well-read and you study your stuff. That's very rare. That is very, very rare. So, thank you so much. No, absolutely. Let everybody know how to find you, how to follow you, and close out with a word of wisdom.
All right. So on Instagram, you can find me at The Credit Hero. So that's THE_credit_hero. On Facebook, Daraine Delevante. My YouTube channel is lit. All consumer law stuff. Daraine Delevante. And just invest in you, man. Just invest in you. And what you said earlier, I know we're short for time, but what you just gave out just now, Dave, that's a no-brainer to be a part of the Morning Meetup. And I didn't want to interrupt you, but you're getting a whole podcast content creation course for joining the Morning Meetup.
100%.
That's a no-brainer. Right. And for anybody that's aspiring, to do the things that they want to do in the content creation world and in the podcast arena, I think the best person to learn from is somebody that's already doing it at a high level, because I believe one intelligent person can teach another intelligent person how to do the thing that intelligent person knows how to do.
This is very true.
It makes sense. But you know what, Dave? A lot of people too, they sit on their hands and they don't take action. But you see, the universe rewards action takers because success has a need for speed.
That's a fact.
And first mover's advantage. The people that will act on that offer, you will see in a year from now, they will not be the same person. Yeah. And I'm a proof of your content, living proof of a year ago compared to now.
Yes, sir.
So I say this to you because I've been where you are. I was confused about a lot of things, but one of the things I wasn't confused about was an investment in this.
Yeah.
When I changed the way I think, the way I thought, when I see now the possibilities. Dave, if you got a course for $25K, it's a no-brainer for me. Why? Because off your free content, I was able to build a 7-figure business. Imagine if I start paying for some stuff. Come on now.
I rocks with you, man.
Come on now.
I rocks with you.
Come on now, Dave.
All right, click the link for my $25K offer. I'm just playing. I know. But thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Makes sense.
Yo, keep educating people, man.
Absolutely.
Keep educating. Good, man. Listen, we can't close it out no better than that, man. Do yourself a favor. Go get you some social proof, man, and go build something.
Facts.
Go build something. Read 6 books a month. Read 1 book a month. Read 2 books a month. Like, do something extraordinary. But then you got to gather all the information, gather all the receipts that you've collected, and then come back to your community and teach your community what you know. That's the only way our community grows. All right? Like, subscribe. Please share this episode with somebody. We're out. Peace.